Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 48 Hours of Midair live stream. I am Crash7800, aka Ian Tournay. I am joined by the head of Archetype Studios, Chris Matthews Bugspray.
Hey guys, how you doing? Glad to be here yet again. Excited to talk to you guys about Kickstarter today. Really looking forward to it.
Awesome. So I'm happy to see that in the interim, well, our good friend Santeri was doing amazing work showing off 3D modeling, that we jumped up to $38,000 on the Kickstarter, and we're also up to 436 backers, which is amazing. Now, again, I want to reiterate, if you scroll down the page, you will see an area where there are achievements. Some of these achievements have little blue dots, and if we get to those achievements, if we light those up, we're going to unlock special things along a variety of topics: lore, art, behind the scenes, all kinds of fun stuff. One of those things that we can do to get one of those achievements unlocked is to hit 500 backers. Now, we're just a ways out from that. I'd love to drive to that. If we could get to that by this evening, it would be amazing. We'd be able to actually start to reveal some new things around Midair, especially actually the lore, which maybe we can talk about a little bit later. But we've got all kinds of tasty morsels to reveal, all kinds of cool stuff to show you guys. All it takes is for you to back. If you haven't backed yet, we'd love it if you would. Just a couple bucks would be completely appreciated. But of course, once you start moving up the ladder, you're going to unlock all kinds of amazing goodies. Everything from early access to instant access after the Kickstarter is completed. Of course, if you back at the $20,000 level, Chris will change his name to whatever you want it to
be. Do we even have a level? I don't think we have a level at 20,000. I think you can have a level.
Just added it. Yeah. So speaking of which, Chris, talk to me a little bit about why Archetype Studios decided to go the Kickstarter route and what it's taken to get up to this point.
Yeah, totally. So I think I mentioned a little bit on the previous stream when we did the intro that we've been working on this thing for 2 years. We started because we felt like the genre needed some love, and that we were just really passionate about kind of bringing this kind of classic gameplay into the modern age, adding a bunch of polish to it, doing the best we can to make sure that the right features were in the right kind of game at the right time. And so we spent about a year kind of building, prototyping, that sort of thing. We announced some events at PAX, let people come in to play themselves at some events that we had next to Penny Arcade Expo here in Seattle. Got some really good feedback early on. Did it in 2014 and 2015, and then said, hey, we're getting to the point where we're ready to do our Kickstarter. Let's hit greenlight first, and then move to Kickstarter after we know that there's some legs behind it. When we hit greenlight, we got greenlit within 6 days, which was awesome, and I'm sure a lot of you guys here also backed us during our greenlight campaign.
And yeah. Chris, how compared to other greenlights, is that fast? Is that like where that's pretty fast?
That is right? Really fast. Yeah, a lot of greenlights. I know greenlights have taken months to go through, and frankly, in my personal opinion, we would have got through in 3 or 4 days had we not done it over Christmas. So
what do you attribute that to, that level of enthusiasm?
Well, absolutely, the kind of community that plays these sorts of games. I mean, I think we came out with something that was really intriguing and interesting, and then like everyone just latched onto it because they knew what it could be. Like they could see the potential there.
Awesome. Cool.
So yeah, after greenlight, we pushed real hard and then finally got to this Kickstarter point.
Awesome. Well, I think you guys should be absolutely proud. I know that when you start to get into a Kickstarter, there are a lot of questions. Guys, it is a huge amount of work to launch a Kickstarter. It's a lot more than just putting a few words up on paper. I think everyone, even if you don't back, you should absolutely be supporting Archetype Studios. It is a team of true indies. Some of these guys, they have been planning for this. They've been gearing up for this. This has been their passion since 2008. Let that sink in for a little bit. This is an event in the making for almost 10 years. And it shows. We've had a huge outing. We've had a huge swell of support. Now, I want to remind everybody of a few things. First of all, not everyone has a gigantic chunk of change lying around, but they do want to get in on Midair. They do want to be able to donate. They do want to be able to back. Now, if you are worried about your paycheck situation, you want to wait until that comes through, totally understand. Just a reminder in case you're nervous about anything, the money will not be taken out of your account until the Kickstarter is closed, which is 28 days. There's no way that can happen early. So if you're a little gun shy about that, Don't worry about it, but the most important thing is to do whatever is comfortable for you, whatever makes you feel good, because we want this to be a feel good thing. The next thing is that if you have already donated, or you can't afford to donate, or you're on the fence, the thing that you can do that is absolutely 100% free, that will help Archetype Studios, that will help Midair, is get us in and into your social feeds. Get us into your Facebook, get us into your Twitter, follow us on Twitch, follow us on YouTube. Not only is that going to help spread the word and get more people in, that's going to do two things. First of all, it's going to help us rack up achievements, which is going to give you guys awesome stuff for free. The second thing it's going to do is it's going to help us reach those stretch goals. So even if you've already donated, even if you're exactly where you want to be, you're comfortable, you're at the top of your capacity to give, which, by the way, thank you. If you guys just tell a couple friends and they donate, we're that much closer to stretch goals, which means the donation that you made is going to go even further. By the way, huge shout out to Matthew, who just backed us at $35. Can't thank you enough. Chris, now let's dive into these tiers a little bit. What is Matthew going to get at $35?
Yeah, so at $35, one of the biggest things that he's going to get is a pass that will allow him to bypass all the gameplay progression in Midair. So if you haven't checked out the blog and you haven't read through the Kickstarter page yet, Midair is a free-to-play game, and we are going to have a leveling system that allows you to kind of kind of slowly level up and get like weapons, get aesthetic modifications, unlock more cool stuff. And one way that, for people who are really enthusiastic about the game, know that Midair is the kind of game for them, and want to get right into the whole system without spending a lot of time kind of grinding through. We are offering a pretty reasonable price at around $20 at our $20 tier for Kickstarter, or $30 if you wait until the retail game comes out. To bypass that, you get all the weapons, you get all the armors, you get all the abilities that you need to get out there and be effective. And so he's getting that. He is also getting access to the closed beta. And so the closed beta is, I forget the exact timeline. I think it's something like, let's see. The closed beta is 12 months after Kickstarter, so roughly 6 months before your release. And so you're going to get 6 months of gameplay, kind of, with all the other closed beta backers, with all of the other people who are in alpha and instant access. You're going to get to play with them, and you're going to get a good 6 months of that time. In addition, you're going to get 2 gold crates. So gold crates are basically, they'll contain a bunch of our aesthetic items. So one of the big ways we monetize Midair is through the sale of aesthetics. So that's things like weapon skins. It can be new armors, new characters, new armor pieces. It can be accessories. So we've been talking about a variety of accessories. A couple of the ones we've landed on so far will be in-game keychains, which remind me to bring that up later. But we have in-game keychains. We have stickers that you can put on your weapons or on your character, things like that, so that you can do things like, at the end of the score screen, if you've won, kind of really show off. You can, if you're making your own montages and things like that, then awesome. That'll show up on your montages. It'll be your signature when you're making your videos. We also have things like hats and that sort of thing too. Real quick,
Triggerfinger has a great question. He's on the fence about backing, that's a-okay. We're here to convince Triggerfinger. He's wondering if the progression right now, I can bypass progression for $20. Once the game comes out, what am I going to have to drop to pass progression? Real quick.
Totally. So if you wait until the game comes out, you'll be paying $30 to bypass progression.
Gotcha. So you can save $10 right now.
You can save $10 right now, but also if you back now, you'll get all of the extra cool Kickstarter stuff.
That's awesome.
Plus whatever you would normally get if you had just backed, or if you just paid the $30 at retail.
Right. Plus, if you do that, then you're only $19,990 away from being able to change Chris's name legally, which is exciting. Another great question has come through. I'm seeing here in the Twitch chat. By the way, guys, if you have these questions are great. They're amazing. This is exactly what we're looking for. Put these right in the Twitch chat. We're going to answer every single last one. We're not scared of anything. We're proud of everything that's going on. So just drop it ASL and we'll fire back at you. One of the questions here was from Bodo, which I think this is going to be actually a really fun, kind of exciting question. Is he's looking at $1,000 backer tier, which, by the way, my man.
Wow, awesome.
It's pretty exciting here. So no pressure, Chris. Just $1,000 on the line. He's interested in moving up to the Mana Weaver level, which, by the way, maybe we'll have a little time later to explain what a Mana Weaver is. It's a pretty sick title. I'm not going to lie. But he's wondering what is this Easter egg? Talk to me about the $1,000 tier. Talk to me about designing an Easter egg.
So the nice thing about designing an Easter egg is we have a lot of flexibility. So if you've got an idea of something cool that you want to put in the game that's kind of your mark because you backed at that $1,000 level, then we'll work with you. Like we'll be exchanging emails, we'll be getting on chats or like a hangout, like a one-to-one camera session. You'll be talking with our artists. You could be talking with our programmers. But we're going to basically personalize this Easter egg so that you get something really cool out of it that you can, when you're flying around the level or using a weapon, you can point out and say, hey, look, like I backed this project and this is something that I was able to affect in the game, and like this represents me, right?
So
And it
this,
could. Oh, I was gonna say it could be something funny. It could be something
right.
serious. It's totally up to you. We're gonna probably have a little bit of a filter in the sense that you can't just be putting like pornography in there or offensive
It
language
has
or
to be
things like
tasteful pornography. I can't stress enough, Bodo. If you have an idea for tasteful pornography at the $1,000 level, we can make it work. But this is I mean I think some great Easter eggs that have been around on gaming to talk about. Like the newer Wolfenstein games, you're going to find cacodemons, those flying pumpkin things, kind of sprinkled around, which is a nod to Bethesda's other title, Doom. There are a great number of Easter eggs tucked away in the Division. You see these things where it's like, oh, you find a couple swords and a couple sais and some oh, it's the Ninja Turtles because we're in New York, right? So they can be anything from a visual Easter egg. There are such things as audio Easter eggs. It's really just a cute little snippet of content that you get to put in the game that people kind of would have to go out of their way to find. And once they do that, that'll take care of it. I have some amazing news, by the way. Our powers of persuasion appear to be working, and I want everybody. I want to see this Twitch chat light up. I want to see it light up, everybody. We've had Bodo move up to $1,000 backer level. Bodo,
awesome.
you are a rock star. Thank you so
That's
much. I
great.
can't tell you how far this is going to go. And Chris, to that end, I mean, Bodo's already excited about designing that Easter egg. He's already excited about playing Midair. He's going to get instant access as soon as the Kickstarter closes. He's going to design this Easter egg. He's going to get to design a public spray, which we'll talk about in a little bit too. Talk to me a little bit though. Where's Bodo's money going to go? Bodo just put $1,000 in the jar. Where is that cash going to go? How is Bodo making Midair a better game right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, since yesterday, we've put up an image at the bottom of the Kickstarter page. So you should all go check this out right now. It is in the plans section, and it basically describes where our money is allocated to. Now, this will of course change as we hit stretch goals and things like that, because we get certain efficiencies here or there. But effectively, what his money is going to do, $600 of that thousand is going to go into development and contract work, which is a big deal. That is huge. Like $600 that's additionally allocated to contractors or artists, programmers, that sort of thing, is going to be absolutely fantastic, and it's going to allow us to increase the polish of the game, get features out faster, and do more.
That's awesome. That is amazing.
And then in addition, we've got 8% of every dollar, or in this case, what does that come out to? $80? Is my math right? $80?
Sure.
Is it eight? It's $80. Yeah, $80. All right, $80 is going to go to marketing, so that's going to go into Ian's pocket, and he's going to go spend that in spreading awareness and that sort of thing.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what the marketing. I think so. Something that's really exciting. So let me talk to you about my background a little bit. I worked for Electronic Arts for a couple of years. Huge company. If you were to give Electronic Arts money for a marketing budget, that's going to go into things like ad banners. It's going to go into things like paying salary for artists to make things like that. Don't get me wrong. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. When you're a big company, you got to move 15 million into the game. You gotta spend money to make money, right? I think what's really, really exciting about Archetype Studios, and I've talked to Chris at length about this, I've been helping with the marketing, is that this money, the largest chunk of this money, is going to go towards an event. It's going to go towards PAX or something similar to that. It's going to go to an area where if you're a fan, you can show up. So we're not just going to be throwing money at Google. We're not just going to be throwing money at Facebook. We're not going to be throwing money at PR. We're going to take that money, and because we believe in community, we're going to take that money, we're going to reinvest it into community events, we're going to reinvest it into growing the community and creating a space where more people are going to be playing. The more people that play, the more people that know about Midair, the bigger it's going to get, the better it's going to get. So every single dime that you invest in this Kickstarter is going right back into making the game that you want to play.
Absolutely, and as you know, Ian, like indies don't get a whole lot of money to spend on marketing, right? A lot of people are they're eating ramen, they're doing their best to like push out a game. We've got a wonderful development team. We've got 22 people on it right now, and we're pushing real hard for this thing. And so one of the things that a lot of Kickstarters will say when they come out is say, okay, all this money is going to go into feeding my ramen addiction and like sustaining me for the next however many years. But as a team, we are committed to making this thing happen, right? And so we get to spend some of this money on really growing the game and making this awesome.
I love it. Cairo, by the way, big shout out to Actionaut Cairo. Cairo says, "Why don't we swing by Dragon Con instead of PAX?" I'll tell you what, Cairo, and $20,000 into the can, instead of renaming Chris, we are going to launch the first Midair convention, Cairo Con. Your name on it. You're in charge. All access. Full Q&A panel with Cairo. Cairo-shaped treats, Cairo-shaped balloons, Cairo T-shirts. Midair will be there. That's not really what it's up to. It's all about Cairo at that point. I've already bought my tickets. I paid in advance. It's worth it. I'm going. Just $20,000. All we need, Cairo. Do it, baby. Do it. Just pay it out for Cairo Con. All right. Now, Chris. Here's another great question. Perhaps slightly more serious suggestion. Is what sort of test? This comes from BA2P Batupit. Comes from that guy. He wants to know. You guys have an amazing team. You guys have a very talented team. It's been a pleasure working with everybody on your team. I got to say, by the way, these guys, amazing amount of talent for indie developers. If half of the developers that are making games right now are a fraction as good as Archetype Studios, we're set for the next 10 years as far as amazing games. These guys are great. He wants to know though, what kind of tasks are going to go to contractors versus in-house?
That's a great question. So, on our team, we have the talent to do whatever we need to do in this game. So really, it becomes a matter of time. How much time do we have to complete the various tasks we need to do? And so when we get this money, it's basically saying, okay, we're going to take some of this money and then allocate it to someone who is going to add a layer of resource for us to go out and build something, right? And so it could be something like, okay, the backers voted in that they want to see Duel as a next game type, because that's one of our stretch goals. Well, we put that, I think it was at 110 or so, and so if we can basically take that $10,000 and say, okay, we can at minimum use this $10,000 to hire a programmer to go out and build this extra thing while we continue to work on the game as a core development team. Now, it's not necessarily going to be as linear as that. It's not going to be $10,000 equals Duel. Like, it's kind of complex how all that stuff works. As we get more stretch goals, we want to allocate more of that to marketing as well, because marketing is hugely important. But effectively, like, we're spending this money to add value on top of a core product that we're already building. So I hope that answers that question there. And in addition, we do this with art as well, not just programming. So if we want to add more characters or add more armors or add different variations on turrets or things like that, if we want to add, like from a gameplay perspective, if we say, hey, we really need this certain type of deployable, we have to build that art asset. And so having this extra money allows us to have that flexibility in designing to really make the game come together from a gameplay perspective. And instead of saying like, well, we don't have the resources, we really got to just stick with this like really small subset of things, we can actually say, okay, let's build that out and make it better.
And I think the other thing too is, you guys are being really thoughtful here. This is not just, we have 4 maps, we have 5 modes. Go get it, just go do it, right? Like I've noticed you guys are custom tailoring team sizes to maps. You guys are custom tailoring match modes to different maps. So when you guys are designing modes, this isn't just like, oh, here's a cute, fun idea, let's see if it works, screw it. You guys are play testing, you're designing, you're balancing, you're orienting maps, you're orienting team sizes. You guys are seasoned players. You guys are of a finer vintage, and everything that's coming out is going to be quality.
Absolutely. A lot of the people on our team have a long storied history in the Tribes world. I myself have played Tribes since like '98. I went up from Tribes 1 to Tribes 2, played some Tribes Vengeance, may it rest in peace. Played some Tribes Ascend. Never got a chance to try Tribes Aerial Assault, but then played a lot of Legions and was heavily involved in the Legions community. Ended up kind of taking over a community project where we continue to develop it long term, and which is kind of how this game kind of came out of that core team there. But been around since '98 myself, in a variety of levels. A little more casual in Tribes 1, highly competitive in Tribes 2 and Legions. But like we have a ton of experience in the team. Like Davey is sitting behind me. He's our art lead. He played in a top Tribes 1 team. What was your rank on the OGL ladder?
It fluctuated, but it was always top 5.
Yeah. So he was. I don't know if you guys heard that through my mic or not, but he basically said he was top 5 on the OGL ladder for a while when he was playing Tribes 1. Like, was super competitive in Tribes 2. Also very competitive in Tribes or in Legions as well. So and like that's just a couple people on our team. Like Mabel, our programmer on the team, was he went to I think it was the North American Star League for Tribes Ascend. So we've got a lot of really competitive people from a lot of different time frames in the history of FPSC games, playing at competitive levels. Also, some playing casually. So we've got a really good mix, I think, of opinions and capabilities, and that really comes out in our design. And so when we're designing maps, we have this wealth of history behind us that we can draw from to say, well, you know, I remember that one time where that mod the little mod team or whatever went and tried to change arena that one time, and it was terrible. It didn't work at all. Or, you know, the Team Warfare ladder came out and had 2v2 or 6v6 of something, right? And like that was just like it didn't really work. There were issues and that sort of thing. So yeah, like I said, we have a lot of experience not only in like how we play, but in our competitiveness and our involvement in the community and the modding scene that really help us, you know, bring this design home in a way that's really super balanced and awesome.
That is great. Now, Chris, I need to bring your attention to something very urgent.
Uh-oh.
Very highbrow discussion so far. Very interesting. Can't get enough. Could listen for hours. A++. Would listen again. There is a challenge right now in the Twitch chat.
Uh-oh.
There is a challenge regarding this little piece of real estate right here.
What is that? What is that?
This flavor saver. This half acre of masculinity parked on my beautiful face.
Well, that's something you know a guy could really get attached to, right? Like,
you know, it is. I gotta tell you, I've had it for a long time. It's part of who I am. But eWaffle has put up a challenge. If I shave this baby off, eWaffle, if I can get your commitment. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is my beautiful wife Kate. She has brought what I need to make this happen. Someone challenged me to shave it off.
Oh, he's gonna do it like...
This is a razor blade, folks. No, we don't need no soap. We don't need no soap, and we got backer power. This is a razor blade, okay? Now, eWaffle says $20. Now, folks, eWaffle alone would be worth it. $20 would be worth it. But I heard a couple rumors that there would be a match. If I could get at least 2 other people to match eWaffle. I've got A-Fire and ASA. Says 60. All right, 60. eWaffle's in for 20. All right, we got a couple people. Well, now we're watching the Kickstarter page. Once that money goes through, if I see 3 pledges of at least $20 here in the next 10 minutes or so. This is happening. This is going off. It's going to go right off. It's going to go right into this towel. And if you want, I'll mail it to you because you earned it.
So I'm trying to think about how we can verify this. Should we have them like write a comment after they pledge?
Yeah.
Saying shave the soul patch?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you back for this challenge, write a comment on the page saying like hashtag Midair Kickstarter, shave the soul patch. I can't even say that. And then we'll make sure that we match this up and that we get this thing shaved off.
This is it. It's coming off. I guarantee you, folks, if we can just get, all I'm looking for is at least 3 $20 donations in the next few minutes. If we get confirmation of that, this is a genuine, by the way, this segment sponsored by Feather Razors, an excellent razor for those of you looking for a closer shave and to move away from the douchebaggery that is the Mach 3. This is a Merkur Select. It's got a nice heavy handle. I highly recommend it for people looking to go back to the simpler time of safety razor shaving. And it will be gliding across my face, removing the soul patch. Folks, all I need to see are those donations. It is absolutely going to happen. Now, while we're waiting for that to go down, by the way, I'm getting a call from some friends in Canada. I've got somebody in Canada who is completely shocked that the soul patch could come off. Folks, it's becoming an international incident. All it's going to take is about $60, at least 20 from a few people in a few places, and this puppy's coming right off. I will phone the Canadian consulate and apologize in advance, but I got to tell you, this is a real thing. So on a more serious note, while we're waiting for those donations to come through, Chris, talk to me. if our friend eWaffle does donate at $20, what is he going to pick up?
Yeah, so we mentioned earlier on the stream that at the $20 level, you can get the basic progression pass pack, which allows you to bypass the gameplay kind of progression system. So you basically unlock all weapons, all abilities, all armor types, all deployables, all that kind of stuff, whatever we kind of have available at that time with that. So that's the biggest thing they're going to get. But in addition, they get access to the early access open beta. So that's, I think, about a month before release starts is when early access open beta starts. Or sorry, a month before open beta starts, I should say. So yeah, so open beta starts 16 months after Kickstarter. And so if you get the early access open beta, 15 months after Kickstarter is when you jump in. In addition to that, you also get the forum backer title. That's gonna be by pledge level, so you'll have backed. I think that's the Manaborn tier. Am I right there, Ian?
Mm-hmm. That's when you become a Manaborn.
That's right. So you'll get the Manaborn forum backer title. You'll get the in-game Kickstarter backer badge that says "I backed on Kickstarter," and that will be displayed on your profile in game. In addition, you'll get a Kickstarter exclusive spray. So if you don't know what sprays are, it's similar to Counter-Strike, or I think Overwatch has this as well, where you can make your mark on anything in the game. So it could be a piece of terrain, it could be a wall. I don't think you can spray the players, but you get the idea. That you'll basically be able to put like a cool little symbol. It could be a smiley face or a heart or whatever. But we're going to create a spray specifically for Kickstarter backers that's going to be pretty sweet. And you only get that by backing on Kickstarter.
That's it.
In addition, at $20, you get the Midair digital soundtrack. Our guy Owen Stark has created this thing. He's labored over this for, I think, a year now. He's been with us for a long time. And he's been laboring over this original soundtrack. And so you get the full digital copy of that. In addition, I want to bring up something which is actually pretty cool. If you haven't checked it out yet, head down to the backer tiers, backer rewards section, and there are two SoundCloud embedded little players there. Check those out. Those are 30-second clips of 2 additional digital albums that you can add on to your pledge. That Owen is making the acoustic kind of remix of our OST. So it's basically going to transfer all of that wonderful thematic music into something that's basically played on a guitar. And then also Alston, who's also known as Audio Crunch, is making kind of more electronic remixes. They're super cool. I love them. I think you'll really love them, and you should definitely go up your pledge tier. And so what you do is you up your pledge tier by $5 for each of those add-ons that you want to add, and then we'll send out a survey after the fact and say, hey, which of these did you want? And then you just fill out the survey. And so I think that's the last thing. Oh, sorry, you also get your name in the credits as well, saying that, hey, you helped us out. So those are the things that you get at that $20 tier.
So here's what I've seen here. I've seen Isid went up $20 on his pledge, which is amazing. Destiny End just chipped in $35. I'm seeing that on the list here. We got Tom at 20. We got Eric Smith at 35. Folks, do we know what time it is?
I'm super stoked.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure this is happening.
All right, it's got to happen. Okay, you asked for it. You wanted it. This is how it goes. Now, Chris, while I make this modification, perhaps you could reply to Reverend Zen, who has a question about if we might see. I think his larger question is Destiny its kind of own, or I'm sorry, I'm looking at Destiny End's reply here. Is Midair its own contained universe, or are we going to see nods to other FPSZ games? Is it just the gameplay that is inspired, or are we talking about story? Are we talking about art? What are we talking about here?
I don't even know if I want to answer this question. I kind of want to watch this thing happen. Interesting.
Oh, I could really use some lotion, folks.
So
Here, let's see if we can get the microphone in here. You can really hear the scraping. That's kind of really gets Shavo-Vision going. Huh?
I think I'm just gonna watch this. I'm not even gonna answer. I'm gonna answer this after.
Okay.
This
I want to let people know. It's dangerous for me to talk while I do this. I want to let people know that all you gotta do is just right down underneath. Did I put the blade in? Yeah, I did. If right down here, folks, while I'm shaving, is where you can get you can back money.
That's right.
If
anyone likes what they see, we can find more people to shave body hair off of. Totally. Like whenever you want it to happen, we can make it happen.
I think my wife is watching.
Oh
Honey,
my
could
gosh.
you bring me the lotion, please? Okay.
Wow. Oh wow, that came off so far pretty cleanly.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's
I'm
actually the
kinda
long stuff. You know what?
kinda
We should just leave it
seeing
like that. It's almost like a little Nike swoosh.
It's up to E-Waffle. E-Waffle's gotta weigh in here. Is this what you want, or do you want it all off?
Uh-oh. Sid just asked how much for my beard.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
What's the plan, folks?
So
I gotta know. By the way, huge shout out to my friends down in Los Angeles who have come to swing by. Y'all better just even a couple bucks for that right there. Yeah. E-Waffle, I gotta know, baby. Do you want leave that little bit of shit on there? It looks horrible. Okay, I mean if that's what you want. If you want it, we'll leave it. E-Waffle kicked it off. E-Waffle's decision. All I gotta here, we'll get a little envelope here. I got an envelope rolling around, I think. And right here, go right here. I also want a huge shout out Feather Razors, Merkur Razor Blades, Southworth envelopes. As you can see, Southworth, because it's important. This is it's nice. 25% cotton envelope. I usually send in. Oh, thank you. I just need the lotion, baby. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's fine. That'll work. And we're just gonna put the hairs in the envelope here, and just really get this where this is going. Just a couple of hairs, just a few hairs.
So while you're doing that, by the way, I want to ask the people here in the stream, what do they think that my beard is worth? I see we have one person who says he'll pay $100 for Bugs to keep his beard. So I like that. I like that idea. Well, it's in the envelope. Are you gonna send it to him?
If he wants it, all I need is an address. Just really, if you want, it's ready to go. Nice, 20% cotton envelope, folks. Also, this Kickstarter brought to you Jack Black, authentic original double duty face moisturizer with blue algae extract and sea parsley. Shout out to my mother-in-law who got me this for Christmas. It's a nice lotion, and this will help kind of take the. This will help take some of the burn off. I don't really know.
So someone said, I think the Bugs beard is worth $1,000.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
I think that's good.
Geist is saying the bug spray beard tug of war. Once the offside reaches $200 more than keep. Oh, that's actually interesting. We should have dueling opposing sides. Whoever outbids,
Ooh,
will just win, whether I keep it on or off.
I like that. This also, I gotta say, Jack Black lotion, nice smell.
Pretty solid.
I'm feeling smooth here. It's good. Little dab will do you, folks.
Wait, so it's Jack Black? You said? Like School
Yeah,
of Rock?
Jack.
Jack
Like
Black?
no, I think of acting fame. Jack
Oh, okay.
Jack Black made his
Wow.
own lotion. Strangely sophisticated branding for someone that likes to say skadoosh, but it's
So
that's it. Now I would send you the razor blade as well, but I think the United States Postal Service would frown on that. So we're gonna leave that in there. But you just get me an address and that's all yours.
Fantastic. Well, man, we have to figure out what kind of rule set we need for this whole shave the beard thing. Let's think about that. I want to
Okay.
hear more rules, more ideas, more prices from everyone watching on the stream. Let's dive into some more Kickstarter action.
Let's keep spitballing on that in the Twitch chat. We'll come back. We've got a couple of people watching that. Qualified game designers who can definitely make a little bit of a game out of this. Now we did have we had Izid. He jumped up to I believe $190 or so, but that means that he was at 170. He was at about $175, $175. We're kind of jumping all over the place, but I kind of like it. We'll get to a tiered hierarchy. We'll pull the chart up, but talk to me about what $175 is going to get our friend Izid.
$175 is one of my favorite tiers, to be completely frank. I think it's one of those really nice sweet spots where the backer gets a lot of interesting stuff. So $175. The real kind of marquee thing here is the instant access to the game. What that means is that at the end of Kickstarter, after we've collected the money for Kickstarter, we will give you access to play Midair like right now.
Right now.
Right now. Like what you're gonna see today on these streams is a bunch of testers playing pickup games, having a lot of fun, being super competitive. This happens weekly, at least weekly. We've been getting more and more pickup games as we've been adding more and more testers. This is your opportunity to get in on that. To get on the fun of Midair, like right now, if you're super stoked about the game, you want to get in, you want to submit your feedback, you want to be heard. This is a great opportunity for you to do that. You can take all that passion, roll it up into a ball. It's $175 worth. It's going to be great. In addition, you get an exclusive epic armor set. So this is something, if you notice, we did this on purpose. Every tier where you jump up an access level, you get an extra little goodie. So when people see you in the game and they see that you have that goodie, it's going to be telling that you were really involved early on in this thing. It's going to be kind of a badge of honor. And so we have that when you get into closed beta. If you're a closed beta backer around the $35 tier, we had a early bird for that at $30, but that's all sold out now because it's so popular. You get the epic accessory. If you back at the $75 tier, you're getting into alpha and you're getting an epic weapon skin. When you hit $175, you're in instant access and you get this epic armor set. So everyone will know, hell, that guy had instant access when they see that armor set. So that's a huge one. You also get you also get some physical goods as well. So at 175, you get this high quality metal Midair keychain, and I can show you actually an example of what this looks like. So we have this proof printed out, and it may vary a little bit from this for the final design because we're working with a new partner. But it says Midair on one side, and if you flip it over, it's got a chain gun on the other side. This is based off of the model. We just took a side profile shot and made this of the chain gun. We're gonna have at least 2 designs. I think you can unlock an extra design if we hit certain backer achievements. So definitely keep on pushing that, and we'll add more designs that you guys can choose from. But it's really nice quality. I don't know if you can hear this. This is like slamming me up against my desk right now. And it's
the badge. That's the keychain, right?
This is the keychain. Yeah, this is a metal keychain. So it's not just like some plastic keychain that'll snap in half. This is something that's going to last you a long time. It's really fun to carry around, in my opinion. I think it looks really cool. So you're going to get access to that. There's a Midair t-shirt. We don't have a proof or design for that. We're going to try and get one out and ready before the end of the Kickstarter so you guys can see what you're getting. And we'll have a couple designs for that as well. But yeah, those are two physical goods that you'll get at the 175 tier. So like, it's a great tier. I love it.
When I get that instant access, am I putting a little sandbox? Let's see, our friend Tyler Market wants to know. Am I getting put in a little sandbox, or is this full features as far as what's available? Am I in a little zone? Are there things I can and can't do, or is this the full Midair meal deal?
So one of the benefits of us being an indie team for you guys is that we don't really have we aren't going to spend the time to do that. Like when you get access to the game, you get access to the game. You get to play with the people playing the game. You get access to all the features that we put out, all the features that we have available to us. So you're going to get access to the whole thing. We aren't holding anything back from you. I
love it. And then there was another great question. Let me pick this out. Oh, so there are a couple questions going around. I think this is a great question. And guys, this is one of those things. This is one of those sticky questions. Let's take a step back real quick. Anytime that you talk about doing, anytime that you guys talk about doing video game marketing, talking about video games, being in public about video games, there are a few subjects that are sticky. Okay, there's a few things that you don't want to talk about because if expectations don't get met or people get upset or something changes, then you don't want to get stuck with it. This is an indie project. These are guys that love gaming. This is a community that loves gaming. So we're not going to shy away. We're not going to shy away from any questions. We're gonna grab the bull by the horns. One of the sticky questions that you always get is system requirements. System requirements is hard to pin down because as the development for the game changes, as the game goes on through time and new technology becomes available, as the market changes, as what's out there changes, the system, the quality of graphics or what's in the system could go up. It's a kind of a moving target. But let's talk just, Chris, and I don't think we want to commit to system requirements today. I think it's an absolutely great question. Some people are wondering if they should donate to Kickstarter because they don't know if their game will be able to run it. But I think, Chris, I think let's talk about what system requirements might look like. Let's talk about some of the computers that are currently running Midair and what that looks like. Again, guys, if you guys like having these kinds of conversations, if you like having an open dialogue, if you like indie gaming, you gotta bear with us. You can't crucify us later if this doesn't turn out to be right. You have to be patient. We're going to be open. It's a two-way street. But let's just have a conversation about system requirements, Chris. Kind of what does that look like, do you think?
Yeah, totally. So something to note is that it's hard for us to even predict that right now.
Totally.
Partly because we're in pre-alpha. When you're in pre-alpha as a development team, it means that you are, building things sometimes for the first time. You're using new techniques. You're trying to figure out what exactly is going to work in your game. The art that you create hasn't gone through optimization passes. A lot of the programming work that has been done, it's prototype. It's hey, let's see if we can get this thing to work. How does that affect gameplay? Because there are basically like multiple stages when you're building something, right? You have this idea phase where you're like, well, that sounds like a great idea. Let's try that. And then you go into this prototype phase where you build out something. Now you can spend 6 months trying to make that thing you think might work perfect and then test it, or you can spend, a half a day and build something that kind of gives you an idea, but is like super unoptimized or has a few bugs here or there. And so when we're in pre-alpha, we're still designing a lot of the stuff that's going into the game.
Right.
And again, that's art assets, that's gameplay, that's core system stuff like rendering or networking or physics. And so all that kind of stuff, plays into the performance of the game. And so what you're seeing now is sort of this unfiltered, like, okay, we've got a lot of stuff that's a little rough around the edges, might not be performant, but in general, we've been making improvements that have actually been upping frame rates for lower power PCs effectively. And so I think even in the last week or two, we've released a patch where we improved on LODs, which is the idea that the further you are away from an object, the less you actually need to know about it. And so it makes it like kind of almost like low res, right? If you're standing far away from your TV, you don't need to see a full, you are not going to see full 1080p. So if it knew how far away you were standing from it, it could show you like 480p or something, right? So it's that kind of idea that like is kind of how LODs work. And like that's a pass that we did on one of our maps, Verdant, just last week, and saw an FPS increase of at least 10 across the board, among other kind of improvements that we made. So those sorts of things are going to happen as we get closer and closer to release. And I wanted to kind of talk in depth about that because I wanted you to know that we have people who are playing games on PCs now that are pretty powerful. We also have some people who are playing games on it that are kind of less powerful, and they're having trouble playing the game in certain times, like maybe getting 20 or 30 FPS with a PC that's maybe like 6 or 7 years old. But like it's getting better and better and better, and they're able to do more and more and more as time goes on. So it's important to note also that the Unreal Engine is a modern game engine. It uses modern rendering techniques, and among other things, and it can be kind of resource intensive. We earn a lot from that because we as a development team can put a lot more out in a shorter amount of time and of higher quality. But in exchange, it requires that the computers that you run have a bit more modern technology in it. So it's going to be relatively video card heavy compared to some other things. CPU, as long as you have kind of above some moderately modern CPU, you should be fine. I think we have some testers in here. Maybe you guys can post some of your rigs, especially if it's kind of on the lower end, and maybe post some of the frame rates you're getting. Like you can totally do that if you'd like. But like that should give you a sense of kind of what we're thinking. Like you probably want to have a PC that's not too crazy old. Like if you have a laptop that's 10 years old that a guy donated to you, then like it might be
integrated. Anytime you talk about any kind of 3D gaming, integrated chipset is going to be kind of not great. Those of you playing along at home, integrated chipset means you don't have a dedicated graphics processor. If you've got a laptop that costs less than $700-800, that's probably what you're looking at as an integrated chipset. Some of the new integrated chipsets are actually pretty impressive. You can get a good deal, but I think the important thing is that Midair I think comes out of a community of dedicated gamers, competitive gaming background. If you're playing a lot of competitive first-person shooters right now, you're probably going to be in a position to pick up and play Midair. I think the best thing to do is just say that we'll keep people posted as we go. And we're always moving forward. If we see a lot of questions and concerns about system requirements, we'll start to dig in deeper. But for right now, I think we're in a pretty good place. Speaking of that, real quick, just yes or no answer. Is anyone running the alpha on an AMD chipset, AMD graphics card, AMD chipset?
I believe so. Yeah.
I think isn't Jordan's computer AMD?
It might be. Well, I know someone talked about having some AMD card recently.
Yeah, should be fine.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say it should be fine. I mean, I think one of the things that's really cool about Midair is you guys have a very distinctive art style that brings a lot of texture and a lot of flavor and a lot of information and a lot of fidelity to the game, but it's not a kind of photorealistic crisis kind of approach. Don't get me wrong, that approach is great for some things. That's just not what Midair is. So, I think if you've got a decent computer, you're probably going to be just fine. Speaking of which, how did you guys settle on the Unreal Engine? What led you guys to, there's a lot of engines out there right now. I think Legions, of course, came out of Torque. The Unity engine's a growing popular engine. What made you guys settle on Unreal?
Yeah, so we started from Legions, which was, as you said, Torque, right? And we said, okay, when we make this new game, what do we want to build it on? And so we said, let's do a survey. And so we looked at Torque, we looked at Unreal, we looked at Unity, and initially we actually selected Unity, and part of that was because of the monetization model. They were a bit more indie friendly then, and we're getting a lot of popularity at the time, a lot of excitement around that, lots of community engagement, and then we started actually building in that engine. And then as time went on, we started realizing that we were actually fairly restricted with what we wanted to do with it. And so when Unreal came out with their super, super friendly pricing, you use it for free and you give a percentage of revenue, that's great for an indie because it means that we don't have any upfront cost to using Unreal. And so we switched at that point, and what we gained actually was immensely powerful, because if you know anything about engines, the Unity engine doesn't allow you to look at the source code. And so when Unreal came out and said, yeah, you get full source access for this price, we're like, oh yeah, sign us up, because we're building a game. Midair is a game that is highly dependent on how the physics feel and how networking works, how rendering happens. All those sorts of things are things that become a lot more difficult to interact with and interface with when you don't have access to the engine code, when you can't actually read through how the developer did it, or change things that you need. And so with that access to through Unreal, like, we've actually gained a whole lot of efficiency around just building things. But in addition, from an art perspective, the pipeline that they use, the tools and the editor that Unreal has, is actually we believe much more superior to Unity, and it helps our artists. Like when we moved over from an art perspective, we were able to do a whole lot more in a shorter amount of time, given these new tools. So those are some of the reasons why we chose Unreal.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so let's kind of go. Let's take a peekaroo. We've got the rewards banner up here. Let's take a little walkarooski through these reward tiers. Let's talk about what that's going to be now. Guys, keep posting your questions in the chat. I know there are a couple questions we haven't answered yet. We're absolutely going to get to those. Have no fear. We're just going to walk through the rewards real quick so you know what you're in for. And then we'll circle back and answer those questions in rapid succession. So $5. $5, you're coming in. You're getting the in-game Kickstarter backer badge. You're getting that forum title. You're getting that exclusive spray. I think this is a great way to recommend to your friends. If you've got a friend who maybe isn't a huge gamer, who you want to play this with, or a friend who doesn't play these kinds of games, or maybe a friend who's just looking to get into PC gaming, or maybe just someone who's just curious and maybe doesn't have a lot of scratch rolling around or something, this is a great way to get in. Because when you donate these $5, not only are you going to get these sprays, these really cool things that set you apart and show your enthusiasm, not just for Midair, but for a really genuinely great indie development team, but this is going to help you stay in touch with the project. For $5, which is what you'd pay for a pre-order at a GameStop, you put your $5 down. What GameStop's not going to do for you is send you updates, behind-the-scenes things, special events, and all that other crap, which is great. We're going to do that. You put $5 down, you're going to get updates, you're going to get information, you're going to love it. You move up to $10. This is where you're going to get early access to the open beta. Maybe you got a lot of games on your plate, not a lot of scratch rolling around. Totally cool, because now you're also going to pick up that digital soundtrack, which, by the way, I got to say, soundtrack for this game is going to be killer. The way that it's being designed, the world that Midair is set in is this futuristic setting that's a blend of all these environments and ideas, and the soundtrack really reflects that. I think Midair is going to provide an aesthetic and art direction that is special and unique to this project, and that is going to be a real tasty. And then you're going to get your name in the credits, because who doesn't want that? You can put that on your resume. If you put Midair on your resume and you take that into a job interview and they call me, I will 100%, I will get your back. If you want to say that you were chief technology officer, I got your back. I will lie for you for you for $10. Uh, $20, we talked about that progression pass. If you want to just hop into the game, you don't want to go through unlocking things. I think a really important distinction you can read on the page, how we feel about this. Midair is not going to be pay to win. We absolutely believe in balance. We believe in an equal playing field. If you want to grind your way up through the progression, Godspeed, have fun. But if you want to have access to all those weapons, all those options, all those items, this is for you. Of course, you're also going to retain that early access. Now, I'm sad to say that the $30 early bird access at the next tier, which is where you're starting to get into the closed beta, you're starting to get that art book and that epic accessory, in-game accessory. Early bird sold out, but for just $5 more, you can still get all that great stuff. And I gotta say, for $5 more, it's still a great deal. You're gonna get into the beta. From beta to release, it's gonna be a significant amount of time. So you're talking, what's the difference, Chris? From beta to release, how many months is that? 6, 7 months? What are you talking?
Beta to release, yeah, I think it was 7 months. I'll double check right now. Yeah, so it's 15 months, or sorry, it's 12 months after Kickstarter. So if you actually get in, it's 6. You get 6 months of playing the game before anyone.
6 months for playing the game for $35. That's cheaper than Netflix, guys. You can't beat that. And Netflix isn't as cool as we are. Other thing too is that for $60, if you've got a buddy who maybe is not hip to Kickstarter, got a buddy who you want to bring in but isn't aware, you can put $60 down and we'll give you 2. So if you miss the early bird at 30, you can actually get the buddy bundle for 60 if you go in with a friend and get that $30 price point back, which is great at $60. Now, 70, I think we actually still have some of these available for you guys. If you go up to 70, this is when you're getting into alpha access. This is when you're getting those exclusive weapon skins. I think this is a really exciting level to get in at, the $70, $75 range, because when you get into alpha, now it doesn't matter. We're going to be listening to fans a year after the game comes out. We're going to be listening during beta. We're going to be listening during the closed beta. We're listening now. We're going to be listening during alpha. But if you're committed to shaping this game, if you're committed to really giving your input to this development team and becoming a part of the voice of the community and really leaving your mark on Midair, alpha is a great time to get in when the game is young and you can really shape things and change things. If you're committed to this game and you want to get in and you want to have impact on things like balance, weapon design, level design, aesthetic, all those things, alpha is the best time to get in, because the sooner you get your feedback in, the more we can take that into consideration.
Yeah, and that's also, it's 9 months from now and 9 months before the game's release.
Absolutely. So it's a huge amount of time. And the other thing to think about too, in all of this, well, we're going to double back to these gold crates. We'll get back to that in a second. When you pop up to $110, now you're really getting it. You're getting that alpha access. You're getting that Kickstarter exclusive epic jet trail. This is a jet trail that people are going to be seeing from a significant distance, knowing that your alpha playing ass is coming straight for them, that all hope is lost, and all they can really do is quiver and pray as you crush them. That's what we're offering here, folks, is intimidation in the form of a Kickstarter exclusive jet trail. Bumping up to 175. Now we're going to tack on designing your own personal sprite. Chris, talk to me a little bit about how you guys are going to swing this. It seems pretty nuts that you guys are just going to let people design something that's going to be in the game.
Yeah, so we're going to work with you guys, like almost like the other one. We'll kind of work with you back and forth, like over email. We'll ask you, if you don't have any design skills yourself, we're happy to make something for you and iterate on that a few times. If you guys have an idea of what you want, you can send us reference images, or if you're a designer, you can like send us something that you're interested in. We'll have obviously some constraints and things that you can and can't do, but you'll definitely learn about that as we start to communicate about that. But the beautiful thing about this spray is that is yours. Like no one else can get that spray. So it's something where when you design that thing and you put it on the wall, like you know that is like they know that's you. There's nobody else that is you.
Right. And now we're also talking about instant access, where you're getting in. You're getting in here instant access, which means as soon as the Kickstarter closes, you're popping in, you're playing the game, you're shaping Midair from the ground up.
Yep,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now the other cool thing here too, guys, is that you're going to be getting when you pop up to $500, you're going to get all the in-game purchasable content. So up to this level, we haven't really talked about it yet, but in the game, as part of the game being free to play, which is the best option, I got to say, guys, when you talk about having a first-person shooter community, go look at Steam, go look at the now playing list on Steam. Go look at first-person shooters that come out for $60. Take a look at what the average daily active user looks like a month, 2 months, 3 months after, when the barrier to pay for a game is out there. You don't get as many folks coming in. When you don't have as many folks coming in, you don't have as many people testing and challenging strategies, challenging meta, challenging loadouts. The more people we can get in this game and playing, the better the game is going to be, the more competitive the game is going to be, the more chances you are to have to play. So part of what we're doing to make money, because absolutely we got to feed our families, is we're going to be selling these little customization items. They're going to be in crates. They're going to be cosmetic. They're going to be optional. They're going to be beautiful. If you back at certain levels, you're going to unlock these gold crates. Gold crates are more likely to have better, more exclusive items in them. We're going to have more details on how crates work at a later date. But as you move up the ladder, you're going to unlock more gold crates. Now, if you weigh in here at the $500 level, you're going to get all of it. Any item that we ever release for sale in this environment, you're going to get. It's yours instantly, unlocked. So this is at $500. You come in and think about it like this: if you see yourself playing Midair for years, which I think that's pretty easy to do, and you come in at $500, you could really be saving yourself money over time. Instead of buying gold crates, instead of going after these new items that come out, because as the game gets more successful, we're going to be releasing more content. You could really be saving yourself a lot of money by going at $500. But what I think is really exciting is if you are interested in helping to design a game, if you're interested in getting your feet wet, if you're interested in interacting with this team, for $1,000, which by the way, we already have several $1,000 donors. I can't tell you how exciting that is. For $1,000, you're going to get your name in the credits with a production credit. You get to design the Easter egg like we like, and then Chris, we got a public spray. Now, talk to me about what a public spray means.
So, public spray is essentially one that you create that anyone can get through the game's mechanism. So it could be they find it randomly through kind of a random drop kind of system. They can go buy it, that sort of thing. But you can basically create something that everyone can enjoy and be a part of. So that's what that public spray is.
I love it. Now, really, guys, from $1,000 up, if you want to back this game, if you believe in this game, and you want to support it, if you want to contribute to the development of this game, if you want to interact with an indie dev team that's going to listen to your questions and help you build something, $1,000 up is going to do it. At $2,000, you're designing your own voice pack, which is amazing. At $5,000, you're designing. You're talking about getting a custom weapon and projectile skin, which means that you're basically completely decked out from head to toe. Everyone's going to know that you were that involved. At $10,000, we could not be happier if you would do this, and as a result, you're going to become a character in the lore. You're going to get unique armor. When you step onto the battlefield, things are going to grind to a halt as everyone looks at you and discusses who you are, what's going on. And by the way, just thank you. You're also going to get a custom piece of art. This is one of a kind. One of our artists is going to make this for you. No one else is going to get this. This is not going to become a print. It's going to be yours. It's going to hang in your home, and it's going to be a reminder of the fact that you supported indie development and that you are a cornerstone of Midair. So I think there's really something for everyone here. I think there's great ways to back all the way up the ladder. And talk to me about let's take a look and see if Chris, did I miss anything? Oh, by the way, also if you look at the chart, we're throwing in those amazing, I think they're amazing keychains, metal. We're not throwing out plastic. I think that, by the way, speaks to the level of commitment that we've got towards the Midair community is metal, baby. And then t-shirts, we're gonna have some kick-ass t-shirts for you guys to get access to at the $110 level and up. And then, of course, if you're one of our development level backers at $1,000, you're also going to get a set of prints, which are going to be beautiful and hang in your home in perpetuity. You'll pass them on to your children. They'll thank you. They'll wish you died every day so that they can finally inherit them. It's going to be great. Chris, did I miss anything?
For the rewards, no, I think you covered everything. We should jump over to stretch goals, because actually our programmer who's going to be up next is having a couple technical issues, and so I think there's still plenty more for us to talk about anyways. So we should keep on going and go through some of those stretch goals before he jumps on.
I love it.
So let's go ahead and start at the stretch goals section here. Davey, if you can move the screen there. So at $100,000, we hit our initial goal. That's awesome. It's going to help us immensely, right? It's a huge deal. We really want to hit that. So please help us get there. At $110, we allow you to choose a game type. So we're going to spend some effort into creating one of 3 game types, and you guys get to vote on this. So after the Kickstarter ends, we're going to be sending out a survey to all of our backers and say, hey, which one of these do you want? Right now we have Hunters, Duel, and Jackpot in there. If you guys want to see more, put some ideas here on this channel. Definitely jump into our forums. Go make a comment on the Kickstarter backer page, and like tell us which other game types you'd like to see in there. When we hit $125,000, so it's 25% more of our initial objective, we're going to be adding enhanced in-game stats and achievements. Now, by default, we want to have some level of stats and achievements, but this allows us to spend a little extra time, be a little more in depth. If you've ever played a game like this, you know there's some really cool and interesting stuff that happens in this game, and it'd be really cool for us to be able to track that and do things in a way that really suits, games, FPSE style games. Now, $135,000, we're actually allowing backers to choose additional tile sets. If you head into the art section, you can see some thumbnails that we've created that have some examples of other environments that we're interested in pushing. But when we hit that moment, that means that we create a tile set that, by the way, if we ever do community mapping, depending on our stretch goals and like when we can just do it after release, we'll be able to give that to you as well to build your maps with. So this is going to be twofold. One, you get to play on it. Two, you get to build maps with it. So super important stuff. It really will bring bring the kind of like ambiance and environment that you see into more maps in a different way. So at $150,000, we want to implement a team and clan support system within the game. So that's being able to set tags for your team so that you jump into a server, the 5 or 10 or 20 of you, and like people know who just arrived, right? Server control. So being able to say, everyone on my team, I've got this custom server up. I want everyone on my team to always be able to join overflow, no matter what. Things like that. If you have any ideas on what you'd like to see in terms of team and clan support, please put that into Twitch chat now. Again, post in the forums, go post in the backer comments. Now 200, or excuse me, I skipped one. 175,000. We're doing advanced demo tools. So, a little fun fact for you right now: we actually have a demo system already ready to go. If you look at the trailer, we use the demo system to create that trailer. But right now, a lot of the more advanced features that we used, we had to work with Unreal Engine. We had to. There was a lot of pain. There was some crashes going on. There were a lot of issues. It took us a long time to do it. But what we like to do is implement more advanced tools, things like camera paths, event bookmarks, that sort of thing, into the game's default demo playback tool, so that if you want to go make a montage, you can really take some cool shots. And I think what you're going to see, I mean, you saw it in the trailer, you're going to see it tonight during the pickup games. In the middle of intense action, this game like really pops. It is beautiful. It is beautiful to like fly around in observer mode as a free camera. It's beautiful to spectate people from third person, watch how the flags fly, watch how the projectiles fly. So like this is something that is actually kind of a really cool tier in my opinion, because you'll get to see that in montages. You'll get to go review your demos in more advanced ways than you could before, and see how you can become better as a player, things like that. Now at $200,000, this is a big step, right? This is double our initial goal. You want to add drag and drop UI customization. So that's moving your HUD elements around, doing some custom things like that. Really big deal for people who are into that sort of thing. Now at $225,000, excuse me, we're going to allow you to choose an additional game type. And so if you look at the screen here, it says there's remaining game types plus Siege. Now Siege is a little more complex of a game type. It costs us a little more time and money to build this sort of thing. But what we're going to do is take all the ones that you didn't vote for in the previous vote, pair that up with Siege, and then you guys can vote for whichever game type you'd like. I hope you choose Siege. I think it's an awesome game type. It's really fun. If you don't know what Siege is, it's basically you get to, if you're on offense, you try to attack the defense and take over their base. It's just offense versus defense. If you don't like flags and you want to kind of get that like really core visceral base play in, just smashing down a bunch of defenses and bursting into a gen room and destroying it, that sort of thing. That's what Siege is. And whoever does it faster wins. So that's what you get to do at 225 is vote on one of those game types. At 250, you choose an additional tile set. We talked about that before. At 275, we do pickup game matchmaking, and this is something that we're still kind of in the process of designing, but we think it's super cool. It's the idea that you can actually join the matchmaking system into a more competitive game type where people will participate in more of a pickup game format. So we're talking about people selecting roles and maybe have captains and that sort of thing. But at 275, we can do that, and that's super helpful for games like this. At 325, we actually, at 300, this is like one of my favorite tiers for sure. It's the community map making system that we've talked about before. And the idea here is that we allow you guys to use the tools that we use to create maps and only create maps, but distribute them to players. So when the player joins a server, they're not going into somebody's website, downloading a zip file, reading a README, hoping there's no viruses in it, dropping in their game folder, coming in, oh, I didn't put it in the right folder, come back out. Like, there's none of that. They'll be able to download it on the fly using our system, so that when you join a server, you just see a loading bar and then you go in. So that's what that community map making system is. And people can like review and rate and that sort of thing, those kind of maps, so that you can filter out which maps are good and which are bad. You can maybe create packs of maps, those sorts of things. 325, we add another vehicle into the mix. So we want to add a mech. The exact specifications of this, we are not prepared to release yet, because there's still a lot of prototyping to go into this. If you notice, we haven't shown any vehicles in gameplay yet. It's because we haven't had a chance to start working on them yet. We know we want them, and we want to do a mech if possible. And if we hit 325, then that will be available upon release. 350, you guys choose an additional tile set. At 375, we had a shooting range, which kind of allows you to practice. We call it the shooting range. If you ever played Tribes 1, there's this really cool mod called Boot Camp, and allows you to kind of like, throw players into the air, practice your mid-airs, practice your chain gun, practice skiing, all that kind of stuff. It's just like great practice mode. So we want to unlock that at 375. Now, we could keep on going on stretch goals forever, but at 400,000, once we get to that point, we'll start unlocking additional stretch goals. So definitely help us get to that point, and we will be doing some pretty cool stuff by that point.
I love it. It's crazy.
So Michael says he's almost ready. What we should probably do is quickly talk about backer achievements. Ian, you mind kind of jumping in on that?
No, absolutely. So guys, again, if you've already backed, or if you haven't backed yet, you're on the fence, or if this just isn't the right time for you to back financially, don't worry. You can still absolutely support Archetype Studios. You can still absolutely support Midair. All you got to do is talk about this game, get this game in your social feeds, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Go tell your mom, okay? Just anything you guys need to do to get the word out there. If we hit enough Kickstarter backers, enough Facebook likes on the Play Midair page, enough YouTube subscribers, enough Twitter followers. And by the way, guys, when you follow these presences, I can absolutely guarantee you, you're going to love the stuff that comes out. We're not going to spam you. It's not going to be a bunch of reminders to come buy a bunch of crap. It's not going to be a bunch of links to websites. We're committed to building a quality community experience. You're going to love to see this stuff in your field. I feel like Donald Trump. You're going to love it. You're going to see it in your feeds. You're going to remove everything else from your feeds. It's going to be the best. It's going to be the absolute best social you've ever had, okay? You're going to want to delete. You're going to want we're going to rename Facebook to Midair. That's how good it's going to be, okay? But if you get people to follow you, all you got to do is tell a friend, hey, I saw this game. I think it's cool. Would you like to Kickstart it? I don't know. Okay, well, look, just give them a little follow on Twitter over the next few days. Give it a look. See how you feel about it. Follow us on Twitch. If you guys are enjoying this, if you guys want me to shave more body hair, give us a follow on Twitch. It's a great way to make sure you never miss a moment of me debasing myself for Kickstarter funds. But really, guys, if you do hit these achievements, there are different achievements that automatically unlock secret content, and that secret content's everything from behind the scenes. It's images, it's art, it's lore, it's all these great things. And then also in aggregate, if we hit a certain number of achievements, they're also going to unlock amazing stuff. You're not going to be able to find out what that kind of amazing stuff is until we start hitting these goals. We're not going to start hitting these goals until you start talking to your friends and getting this to happen. So please do, if you want to support this, if you've already backed, if you're not sure if you want to back, or if you can't back, but you want to do something for free that'll just take you a moment, this is the way to do it. Hit it up. You're going to feel good. I guarantee it. I think I know we said that we're going to hit every question. So let's, Chris, really quickly, while Michael's getting set up, I know he's just about ready. Let's lightning round, quick answers. Let's just go through these real quick. Let's see here. Joff611, he wants to know if we're going to be giving away any keys for Midair.
Why not? Why don't we can probably do some contests to give away some keys.
Yeah.
Not right now, but how about this? We'll work on doing a contest for Saturday.
I love it.
All right,
I think that's great. Let's see here. Swiss Milk says a lot of Tribes professionals played the game with really low detail settings, even if they had badass computers. Based on how we're designing the game and your desired performance, do you expect the same from those playing Midair?
The same. Oh, sorry. The
same kind of behavior, lowering graphical settings. I think the idea is if you're playing professionally, you don't right. want the distraction. I feel like Midair is a really clean game. I feel like the aesthetic is really clean. I feel like there's not a lot of detraction. You've got bright colors where there needs to be bright colors. You've got things where there needs to be things.
Well, definitely that, but also know that our lead programmer, it was obviously, professional tier in Tribes Ascend and loves to turn stuff off whenever he can. So it's something we're reminded of constantly, and we'll probably allow you to do a lot of things to customize and make it so like really you're just, I guess, seeing the hitboxes or something, right? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
For people who like that kind of, I personally like looking at our game, so I'm gonna leave all my stuff on. But
I love it. Will people with instant access be able to stream and record the gameplay and share? At what point are we going to open the floodgates and say it's cool to have this game on Twitch?
That is a great question, and truth be told, I don't think we really had that. I don't think we finished that conversation. So tell us what you'd like to see. Like, would you like to see people streaming it? Would you like to stream it yourself? Definitely post on our forums in support of that sort of thing. I think if we did, like right now, we're actually going to be allowing a couple testers to stream and release some montages during the Kickstarter campaign, so you really get to see what it's like to play from the first-person perspective of an actual tester. And so, it's totally possible that we can do something similar for the instant access. It may be a little curated because, again, we're doing prototypes. We're putting out stuff that might be at some semblance of quality, but not necessarily the quality that we want to show off. And so it might be one of those things that, like, we say, oh, you can go stream like during these times, but like don't do these maps because they're not ready, or things like that. So,
we'll figure it out. But guys, I got to tell you, if this game, like Chris said, it looks amazing. When the guns are blazing, when you're flying through the environment, it's eye-catching. If you already stream games, if you have a following, if you're looking to start streaming games and build a following, I think you'd have a harder time finding a horse to back than Midair. It looks amazing. There's always something, when you play a lot of games, that are popular, stream or something, you're playing Counter-Strike, half the time your viewers are sitting there watching you, run around the map with a knife or waiting for the thing to load or shopping or anything. In Midair, if you're thinking about streaming, if you have a streaming presence, if you have a following, this is the game to back. People are going to love to watch you play it. It's captivating. There's always something amazing happening. And when you hit those just tasty, those mid-airs, those just really tasty mid-airs, people are going to love it, okay? Let me talk to you, but if you think right now you're getting people watching you on Twitch, you haven't seen nothing yet. People are going to be dying. We're going to have to build the wall. Chris is going to pay to build the wall to keep people off of your front doorstep so they can sit on your shoulders and watch you play Midair. It's just going to be so tasty.
I do have to say, it used to be that my favorite Ian was Stewie Ian, but I think now it's Trump Ian.
It's a good Ian. It's a
great Ian. Yep.
Make Midair great again. That's my thing. Okay, guys. We're gonna check in real quick before we pitch you over to Michael. Are we ready for Michael?
We are ready for Michael.
Okay, guys. Look, I got to tell you, it's been such a pleasure. I'm going to see you guys again. We're going to dive in right now. We're going to get into some coding. If you are interested in making video games, if you are interested in learning about how video games are made, if you don't know a damn thing about making video games, if you don't know the difference between, if you don't know what a string is, you don't know what an integer is, don't worry. Michael's an extremely talented, patient, intelligent person. He's going to explain what he's doing to all of you. You're going to learn a ton. You're going to love it. You're getting in the guts of Midair. If you've backed, I highly recommend that you watch this because this is what you guys are paying for. These are the beeps and boops, the ones and zeros that your dollar bills are going towards. Again, thank you so much. We're going to see you guys later today. I would love the next time that I'm on stream that we get up to 500 backers. And we can start to maybe reveal a few things about the lore, some other things. Guys, really all it takes is just copying that Kickstarter link or copying this Twitch link and sending it to your friends in an email, an SMS, a Google Hangout chat message on Facebook, Twitter. All it takes is just take it, drop it, forget it. If they see it, great. If they don't, no harm, no foul. Thank you so much. Please continue to back to Kickstarter. And Michael, take it away.
Thanks, everybody. Fantastic.
I hit the door. It's okay though.